So now let's get into Lauren Smith Fields. So that was a young woman, 23 years old, Black woman. She was on the dating app Bumble, where she met a 37-year-old white man, and I guess they had like a date where she was over his place. Then suddenly the next day, he called the police and found her bleeding, dead in the bed. So it's really unfortunate. We're gonna watch a little clip.
Kind of speaks about it and the ridiculousness. But the thing is, like, I think this was also the first time that I really got to see that they really pick and choose when they want to show a person. Because outside of this video where they're not going to try to show the guy's face or whatever,
Right.
There is another one where literally they show his face and they're like, yeah, it's this white guy. And he literally has changed it. They didn't want to try to say his name in this one. But yeah, they had names. He has alternate names too that have been on multiple different things, and now his accounts have been taken down. And I'm just like, if you ain't got nothing to hide, why are you taking down your page? Weirdos, man. I swear to God.
We have an update to a story that we told you about yesterday. A young woman in Bridgeport, Connecticut, who died last month under very suspicious circumstances. Lauren Smith Fields was found in her apartment by the man she had had a date with the night before. Her family accuses police of mishandling this investigation. Newly released autopsy results conclude that her death was, quote, an accident. Elise Preston is here with more on the story. You're back again from yesterday, Elise. It's very troubling. The more we hear, the worse it seems to get.
It's very concerning. Good morning, Gail. Preliminary results from the state paint the first real picture of how Smith Fields died. The medical examiner found Smith Fields died of acute intoxication from a combination of drugs and alcohol. The results showed fentanyl in her system, along with 2 other drugs. The autopsy said,
I want to know what those 2 other drugs are.
As the combination of those substances with alcohol. The attorney said they believe there was foul play.
Someone introduced those drugs to her system, and it wasn't her. And we want answers right now.
Now, the attorney did not explain how the family knows she did not take the drugs herself. The man hasn't been charged and is not considered a suspect, so we are not naming him. According to the police incident report, Smith Fields' date told police the 2 spent the night drinking, eating, and watching a movie. At one point, he said she went outside to meet someone and later fell ill, but the 2 continued drinking. Smith Fields allegedly fell asleep, and hours later, around 6:30 in the morning, the date says he woke up next to Smith Fields, not breathing, and called 911. The full autopsy results will not be made public, but the family can request it. Smith Fields' family is also still waiting on its own private autopsy results, which are expected within the month.
This is so troubling, Elise, because, listen, the autopsy doesn't show how the drugs got into her system. So we still don't know that, and we are just to believe what the man says. The man who, by the way, has not been identified publicly.
Right.
He could say anything.
He could say anything. We have not identified him. We have tried to reach out and make contact. We have not been able to do so. But the family has been questioning from the very beginning, has she been drugged? They say they found an unidentified pill in the home. They said they sent that, or they had police take it for processing. We called the state lab. They don't have anything in their possession related to Smith Fields' death.
And we're not
No, man. The whole thing is just ridiculousness.
That's too much.
I can't stress this enough. I really think that they're trying to push or like make fentanyl a bigger thing now. Because I promise you all the fentanyl deaths or just the usage of it has become like a really mainstream thing, which is weird.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, what the heck? Even from shows such as like Euphoria who have shown it in, of course, in this universe of their show being used, and even from deaths of like such as like Mac Miller and like other stuff like that. You're just like, this is so weird that everyone's dying or on this fentanyl stuff that I've never seen. And then the thing is also, what does fentanyl look like?
Nobody knows what it look like.
Nobody be knowing what this junk look like, but this is some random drug that everybody be getting and randomly dying from.
Right.
It's weird, man. Fentanyl.
Why is he not a suspect though?
That's my thing. Oh, because he called the cops? That don't mean nothing.
Fuck. He was the only person there.
That don't even make no damn sense. on the other, in one of the other videos that I had watched in the news story, they didn't even like really like do a full autopsy there. Like they didn't like do a whole crime
They
scene
didn't
for it. They
grab
let
all
him
the
pretty much
evidence.
walk out. There was like, oh yeah, he was shaking and scared.
He was a
dipped
good
out.
person. Come on, bro.
He seemed to be a good person. What do you
He's a good
mean seemed to be a good
That's
person?
not how the law works.
No, that's weird, man. Like you should have been here. I don't care how scared you are in distress. Like, yeah, we're gonna talk to you. You're gonna stay here. We're gonna ask you some questions about the night.
Yeah.
And yeah, your answers seemed okay, but now you can't just disappear.
Nope.
Nope.
And if you a
That's
real
weird.
person, you know what I mean? If you're a real person and you really cared and you really didn't do anything, the family should have been contacted and you should have been trying to help out and be like, hey, this is what happened. And trying to
Exactly.
make yourself known, like, yo, I didn't do this. And oh, I liked her or whatever it was. Of course, you're like on Bumble and you're like meeting up and hooking up. But like,
Mhm.
if you're a human being, you don't just go
You
into
would
hiding
care.
after this.
Right.
Be like, at least you want to try to make sure that the family knows, hey, if y'all need me, I'm here.
I'm here
Talk,
for you.
talk with y'all. Nah, now you in
Yeah.
hiding.
That's
That's just
weird.
weird. That makes you that makes you prime suspect number one.
Exactly.
Talking about he's not considered a suspect. Why not?
How I'm like,
In what
okay, so she
instance?
took those drugs. Did you take those drugs with her? Do you know about this? No, I don't know nothing about that. But that's the stuff like you could have done. What is it? There in one of the other videos talking about how there were condoms found and other stuff. Was there
Mhm.
rape? Was there stuff that was here? Like there's
don't make
there's
sense,
so many
man.
more steps.
It
It
don't
just
make-
felt like a scene out of a Law and Order episode,
Exactly.
and you're just like, that don't sound right.
So do you guys think this changes the way we approach dating apps going forward?
No, because the dating app horror stories, that's been a thing. It doesn't
Yeah.
change the way
It's
we
been a
approach
thing?
it.
Yeah,
It's
How
been a lot
often-
of
That's not an often occurrence.
that. Yes, it is.
No, it's
Yes, it
not.
is.
Yeah.
Yes,
No,
it
it's
is.
not.
There's hundreds of reports of dating apps.
What was the
like,
last
horror
time
stories.
this type of thing
like this
happened?
is just a weird one. This is
This
like one of those
this might be
weird
the most
situations.
highly publicized one, but bro, that's a real thing.
Are
bro.
y'all saying that people been dying through the dating apps?
Yes.
People
Yes.
people get kidnapped. People like stuff
get-
happens in dating
yes.
apps. Yeah, that's not everything.
but
Not
y'all
everything is reported, but this is one of the ones that's being reported. But this is a real
Yeah.
thing. Like
That's a real thing.
I'm not
Like
saying
that-
it never happens. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I haven't heard of it. Like it's
oh, no,
I've heard of
I've
it.
seen
It's
stories
part of the
before.
media.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, I've seen stories before of it, and that's the thing that
Hmm.
even like Bumble and these companies, they'd be like, "Yo, we're trying to help out. My bad." Like they try to like try to clean up the situation as best they can because all they are is like just the middleman between people. They can add
Essentially.
as much verification as they want to, but when these people start getting together, even what like what Elon said, like in our last episode, dudes are aggressive and like stuff can really be happening and that's out of the control of just the app. That's just crazy people being crazy people.
Exactly.
true.
You know, I mean, he could have did something. Maybe he didn't mean to do something or whatever it was. You know what I mean? The situations occur,
Yeah,
choke out, whatever. You know what I mean? Like just certain things that can cause other things to happen. And
That's
the
true.
drugs being in your system, and those are like harder core drugs, doesn't help the fact that you was around this too, dude. What you know?
Exactly.
You know?
yeah, man. I hope they find some justice. In that
Yeah,
situation.
it's gonna take a minute. It's not till the family gets that private autopsy that it's gonna be like we can know more.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I would love to keep track of this because it just sounds it's so bad. Because outside of the family, they're gonna sue the state. They're gonna sue that. They're
As
gonna
they
sue the police
should.
department.
Yeah.
Look,
They
like
got
the
to.
check ain't gonna bring back your daughter, but it's still like y'all need to get the most out of this because they completely dropped the ball.
Because she was so young.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
young, bro.